Working hours are 8 to 4:30, so you can focus on your home life outside of your career. Best way to get in contact with me is just give me a phone call or a text at 479-461-4302. Sloan Electric. We can power up together.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Clear skies overnight, low mid to upper 60s tonight, and then midweek, plenty of sunshine, a high low 90s. We should be close to 95 on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 25 days.
First of all, I just want to know, Ty, are you going to be there next Friday?
Am I going to be where next Friday?
Are you going to be there on the show next Friday?
I think so. Check my calendar, but I don't think I have anything off that day.
Okay, well, my plan is I'll be in Northwest Arkansas next Friday, and I'll be bringing you your $100.
All right. And it'll get. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to donate that to the Good Samaritans Clinic. So thank you, Brian.
Okay, I will be there. I would have been there last week, but you were off somewhere. So
actually, we're going to be at Hardy's. We're going to be at Hardy's that day in Fort Smith. If you want to come by and see us there.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
We'll even buy you breakfast.
Yes. Eat you a sausage.
Okay, the all new Longhorn biscuit from Hardee's.
What time will you be there next Friday?
9 to 11. So you can come visit us anytime between that.
I'll be there. 100%.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush. Is that one of those things where you're just kind of like, I believe it when I see it, if it actually happens? Bruce Stan, Pradco Fishing's in with us this morning. Tommy is out the rest of the week. So, Bruce, I need you to bring it here this next 20 minutes or so to set the tone of the week. What's going on, man?
Man, we're just enjoying the new grandson and counting down football. We had the Hall of Fame game on last week, and Wyatt and I just had it on for 3.5 hours because we're so starved for football. Couldn't tell you the names of hardly anybody, but it was good to see football on TV.
Isaac Tesla, I know there was a little snippet of him, which was cool. He caught a pass during that game.
Had a couple of catches.
Yeah, for Arkansas fans, I know that was a snippet. Were there any Tennessee players involved for the Chargers or the Lions during that game Thursday night?
Hooker played a little bit.
Okay.
Underwhelming, but yeah.
Man, he was that year in college before
it was
that
amazing.
ACL. He was something. He was something. Well, so the benefit of having you in is not only we're friends, but you obviously were in the business for a number of years with the Southwest Times record. And so you know what fall camp is. You know what it's like. You know what's said during the midst of various things. And so I hear stuff like Ronnie Fouch yesterday.
Challenging them to come together more as a family, because I think that's going to help us win a championship. Obviously, we're closer and not individuals.
And I hear stuff like that, and I there are some good things that come out of fall camp. Monte Harrison mentioning yesterday that Dave Van Horn was his first college baseball offer, which we'll get into coming up. But, I mean, that's a coach saying. Then you hear Raylan Sharp say this.
Everyone can play in our room. I feel like we have the best receiver room in America, and that's from upperclassmen to lowerclassmen.
And I'm just like, guys, I get confidence. I get the idea of saying certain things, but at the same time, it's like, this is why people don't take fall camp seriously. It's because of stuff like that, Bruce. And you've heard it for a number of years.
I'm laughing because you got a buddy named Mitchell Spradlin, and before Mitchell played at Southside, he was at Northside one summer, and I walked in. I knew all the Trinity guys, and I said, well, Mitchell, how's it look? He said, we're going to win a state championship. And I'm looking at this group. They won like a game the year before. And I'm like, really? So, oh yeah, this is amazing. Best team I've ever been on. Yeah, I think that's just the emotion of it. Guys get together and they don't know anybody else and they want to build themselves up. Of course, winning a championship, you could win a state championship this year. You are playing Arkansas State. So, I mean, that's on the table.
Point.
It didn't say national championship. So, you got to take it for what it's worth. But it's so different than business. I mean, I don't think you and Tommy take retreats and you don't work for 3 months and, build yourself up to have a great radio season. And we just keep going. That's what we do in real life and business. But sports, we still have this thing where we have camps and motivate each other and evaluate each other and try to pump each other up. And knowing full well we might go 6-6, but hey, we're going to talk the talk for a while.
Well, that's one side. That's the positive. And then there's quotes like, have you heard the quote from Mike McDaniel, what he said, the Dolphins head coach? So you got the positives from Ronnie Fouch, Raylan Sharp, and then you go to Miami, Colton's favorite team, and then there's this.
What makes this sport great? Because we're another day closer to death.
What makes this day great? Because we're another day closer to death. So there's obviously you can go about the talking season professionally, collegiately, even high school, as you referred to, in a number of different ways, and that's how McDaniel chose to go about how they're approaching this offseason.
Another day closer to him being fired for going sub 500.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You're not old like me, but I remember when they asked John McKay, who coached the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They started out 0-26 in 1976 and 77, their first 2 years in the NFL, and they asked him about his execution of the team, and he said, I'm all for it.
I'm in favor of it.
I'm all for it.
And Brian Kelly tried his best to repeat that line, 2 or 3 years ago?
He's an idiot.
He said our entire
Did
team
he say it
should
in
be
a Cajun
executed.
accent?
Yeah, he just said it, and he didn't land it like McKay did 40, 50 years ago.
He said it with a wild look in his eye.
Yeah,
It sounded ominous as opposed to funny.
And I don't know if you've seen, there's a couple of things that have happened for SEC social medias the last couple of days. The LSU Tigers put out an initial hype video of a watchtower, like, the big watchtower where coaches or different photographers and the reason that's bad is because, unfortunately, during Brian Kelly's tenure at Notre Dame, there was a young man that passed away because of wind and everything else and ended up knocking over the tower. And then the LSU, have you seen the Blurgate stuff? Or excuse me, the Tennessee Blurgate stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So for those that don't know, Tennessee puts out this social media clip, and it was an interception, right? And then they blurred out what looks to be the quarterback that threw it. So does that lead you to believe that it's, now help me on the Appalachian State transfer,
Aguilar.
Does that lead you to believe that it's Aguilar that threw the pick?
He led the nation in interceptions 2 years ago,
Okay.
so I would think it would be him.
Okay. And I've seen
in fairness though, Tennessee does have one of the top secondaries. Jermod. Of course, he's not playing right now. Boo Carter, but there's some pretty good players in the Tennessee secondary.
Arkansas has put out a couple of social media clips, and I know people were excited. I'm really curious to see what Omega Blake looks like for this team this upcoming season. But we'll get to some more audio coming up. Again, Bruce Dan, Pradco Fishing here. I did want to ask Bruce about something with an old Tennessee coach coming up momentarily. I know he's got some thoughts on that, and I think everyone will have some thoughts on that. So we will get to that coming up in just a bit. Before we get into our opening drive this morning, we're brought to you by the Inn at the Mill. When you need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, game weekends ahead, football, basketball, baseball, maybe it's a concert at the Amp, maybe it's a staycation of sorts. The Inn at the Mill, perfect place to go. 479-443-1800, or you can always check online at inatthemill.com, the inatthemill.com. Visit it online, or you can call them once again. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present. Speaking of the past, this is quite a trip back to memory lane for some Tennessee fans. Derek Dooley, former Tennessee head coach, is running for state senate in his hometown of his home state of Georgia, and that's our opening drive this morning.
We need new leadership in Georgia. That's why I'm running for Senate. I'm Derek Dooley. I'm going to work with President Trump, fight for you, and always put Georgia first. Right now, we're like the Germans in World War II. All right, here comes the boats. The binoculars, like, oh my God. the invasion is coming. All right, that's what they did. They were in the bunkers. The Americans were the exact opposite. We hit the beach and we're on the wrong spot. What do? I don't know, but these guys are firing. We better go hide over there and blow some stuff up to get up there.
This is the opening drive.
All right, so Tuberville's already a part of the Alabama Synod, former Auburn, Texas Tech. I know he's been in a couple other places as well. This is apparently happening in Georgia. I think Tuberville is going to be in line at some point to be the Alabama governor. I know that there's reports out there that Bruce Pearl's name is being mentioned for a Senate seat. So what is it about old college football coaches? And then Nick Saban, for example, there was thought that he was going to lead this college sports commission. Well, you can remember Tom Osborne. He was a U.S. senator from Nebraska, but he won a couple national championships. I think you look for leadership. You look at someone that's going to – they got big shoulders. Mm-hmm. The difference between all the people you mentioned, Derek Dooley, is Derek Dooley never won anything. Yeah. I mean, Tommy Tuberville was a winner everywhere he was. He beat Alabama 6 years in a row at Auburn. I mean, he won a lot of games. Tom Osborne won national championships. Bruce Pearl's been to a couple Final Fours. I mean, Derek Dooley had losing records at Louisiana Tech and Tennessee. He broke the 26-game winning streak Tennessee had against Kentucky. He won 4 SEC games in 3 years. I mean, it was terrible. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, he had all these bad analogies. He can't count. We had 13 players on the field against LSU on the last play of the game and had to replay it and lost. We somehow lost to North Carolina in a bowl game when they had 23 players on the field. I think that was the last count, and they had to replay the down, but we lost that one. I mean, I don't know. I don't know I guess he's Vince Dooley's son is probably the best thing I can say about him. Mm-hmm. He did have some pretty cool orange pants. If you're a Tennessee fan, that's cool. But that's about the only two good things I can say about him. You got anything to add, Colton?
He, in the commercial that he made, all those commercials for politicians, they're very self-serving. He talked about how leadership, like you mentioned, Bruce, about how he had been in those conversations on those couches with moms and dads talking to their young sons, trying to get them to play football. Wasn't part of Dooley's demise that he was awful at recruiting? Terrible. Not a very good selling point. So I saw a tweet last night that said somebody needs to stand up there and ask him, very first question before anything about policy, is why he didn't sign a single offensive lineman in the 2012 recruiting class. That's a hard-hitting journalism from Georgia that I expect.
So if I guess Houston Nutt would be probably the most prominent Arkansas coach in recent memory that if he ran for either governor or a Senate seat in Arkansas, he would win. If that's the one that comes to mind.
He's got the charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to him, you get fired up, and it's like going to church. It's exciting.
Yeah. Patrick in Bentonville texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, calling Derek Dooley Mike Shula. Shula won.
Worse than Mike Shula. At least Mike Shula won some games.
Mm-hmm. And I know Alabama Shula was a part of the teams that were following some of the turmoil and the violations, if I remember that timeline right. He had to deal with some of that aftermath.
I liked him because he was in that when Fulmer beat Alabama 8 years in a row. He was in that Mike DeBose, Mike Shula deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got our Pradco Pyramid of Power coming up. Bruce is going to tell you the best 6 safeties in the Southeastern Conference. I don't think any Arkansas kid is going to wind up on this list, but we did get Bruce the coaches poll yesterday. Arkansas's got a lot of teams they'll be playing on this list. The Texas Longhorns come in at number 1. I know Brian is happy about that. Tennessee on this list winds up at 18. The Aggies are at 21. Ole Miss is at 15. LSU's 9. Georgia's at 4. And then Notre Dame is at 5. I think, Colton, you can correct me on that. I think that's all the teams that Arkansas's got on their upcoming schedule. But any surprises when you maybe saw this list yesterday or this morning at all?
No, I think that's kind of the list that's been going around. A lot of those SEC teams are probably going to have 3, 4, 5 losses. Probably see a couple of different people in there that aren't in there, and probably see a couple of them not in there that are in there. But no, that's about what I thought.
Arkansas did get 14 receiving votes to be in the top 25. Now, Oklahoma had the most amount of votes not to be ranked. They were at 221. So I think if you add it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 teams above the Razorbacks outside the top 25. So you'd wind up in the 40-something range. But I think when you talk about this upcoming season, Texas obviously made it last year. Have you figured out? I've got LSU winning the SEC this year. That's the team to beat, in my opinion. Their 8.5 win total to me is such an easy bet to go over. I know they opened the season with Clemson; they got to go to Tuscaloosa. But is there any over/under win total, whether it's Tennessee, Arkansas, and other SEC teams that you're like, this is absolutely going to hit this upcoming season?
I don't know all the totals. I agree. LSU could win. What'd you say? 8.5.
Yeah, it's only 8.
Yeah, but I don't. I still think it's going to be Texas and Georgia, just based on coaching and talent. LSU still got to overcome several things, including the guy making decisions. I think they got a tough schedule, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on their quarterback. I think, yeah, is he 4,000 yard? Did he do it last year? Yeah, but I think it's going to be. I think that's going to be a tough ask.
They haven't figured it out defensively yet under Brian Kelly. I know they plucked away, I think, Blake Baker's the DC's name for Missouri a year ago. They weren't that good last year. If they figured it out defensively, and I know they got Harold Perkins back off injury, that Whit Weeks kid who destroyed Arkansas and Fayetteville last year's back. They've got a good defensive line and added some pieces in the secondary. That, to me, is just the team to beat. But we're only 25 days out from Arkansas football. You have a few games before that. Auburn plays Baylor that Friday night, and then some really big marquee games that the SEC is featured in that Saturday. Bruce, before we get into your top 6 safeties, biggest game first weekend, is it easily Texas and Ohio State since it's 1 and 2?
Has to be.
No comparison.
Has to be.
I'm curious what happens in that LSU Clemson game, but it's hard to say that there's not a bigger game, 1v2.
Well, we're all waiting to see the guy with Manning on his jersey.
Yep.
What's he going to do for real? I mean, we've seen him run the ball a little bit, play mop up. I mean, this is his team now. This is his time to put the Manning jersey on, and is he going to follow in the footsteps of Grandpa and uncles? I mean, is he the deal? And we're going to find out. I mean, there's no better test than Ohio State defending national champions. They're loaded, and are they going to if they pull this off, boy, they're going to have a lot of momentum. If they get punked, it could be a long season for him.
Yep. Team that knocked you out of the college football playoff last year. So yeah, massive marquee game 1 matchup that I know Fox is really excited to have in week number 1. All right, Bruce, these are your solo. These are the only Pradco Pyramid of Power, the singular Pradco Pyramid of Power, since Tommy is not here today. So give us it 1 through 6. Who ranks as the best safeties in the Southeastern Conference?
Well, I'm going to fully enjoy not having Tommy to argue with. So we're going to start out. It's going to make your friend Brian real happy. I don't think there's any surprise. Number 1 safety in the SEC's Michael Taft, the former walk-on, had 78 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 picks, started all 16 games, and was a semifinalist for the Burlsworth Trophy last year, 2nd-team All-American. Maybe should have won the Burlsworth, but the leadership the guy exudes, the way he carries himself as a former walk-on, and that guy's a stud. I mean, he brings it. He's always in the right place. He's big time, number 1.
All right, who we got at number 2?
Number 2, Jason Kilgore. It's more stat-oriented, led the SEC in interceptions last year with 6. Has 124 tackles over the last 2 seasons, 2nd-team All-SEC last year. But he's a ball hawk at safety, Jason Kilgore, South Carolina.
All right, who winds up at number 3 on Bruce's Pradco Pyramid of Power?
Number 3 is the leading tackler in the SEC last year, Isaac Smith. Plays for a bad team in Mississippi State, but probably a reason he made so many tackles because the linebackers couldn't tackle anybody. Yeah. But he did have 127 stops in just 11 games. Get this, against Tennessee last year.
For safety.
That's safety.
Insane.
He had 20 tackles, including 9 solos, both season highs, and he was 2nd-team All-SEC last year as well.
I always wonder for a kid like that who was pursued by everyone, not just the SEC, but everywhere else, just the loyalty aspect. And not to say that they didn't take care of him in Starkville, but that he had plenty of other suitors that were calling his name in the offseason, if not during the season as well.
He had to have, and you just admire a kid like that sticks it out. When you're not a playoff potential team and knowing somebody's offering you money and you stick with it, yeah, kudos to that kid. Number 4, KJ Bolden, Georgia.
Yep.
Bolden had 59 tackles. He's a stud. 1 pick, 1 sack, freshman All-American. He's going to have a breakout year. He he might be the best raw talent in this group, just physically gifted NFL wise. But yeah, number 4, KJ Bolden, Georgia.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's kind of like, I don't know if he's Caleb Downs level, but remember the impact that Downs had at Alabama in year 1 under Saban. Like when you come in and you play secondary, and not that other positions are easy by any stretch, but just the football IQ and acumen you have to play that position when you're going up against guys like Ryan Williams or Trey Harris or give me a great Squirrel Williams, some of the outstanding SEC wide receivers. It's pretty special. All right, who's number 5?
Number 5, we're going to Alabama. Bray Hubbard. Hubbard had 57 tackles, 3 picks, and a forced fumble for the Tide as a sophomore last year. And he's a lot like Taft, just a team leader, a hard hitter, always in the right place. Bray Hubbard, Alabama.
And number 6, best safeties in the SEC.
We're going to go with the transfer. LSU got one of the big hauls in the transfer portal. They got A.J. Halsey from Houston, regarded as one of the top players in the transfer portal. He had 74 tackles, 5 interceptions, 13 pass breakups with Houston. First team All Big 12, A.J. Halsey, LSU.
We've seen LSU clean up in the baseball portal before, but this offseason, it really seems like Brian Kelly got a lot of good pieces for this upcoming. There's really no excuses for them in Baton Rouge this year. I mean, they've been lackluster on defense since he's been there. He's got another Heisman-type level quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of pressure in Baton Rouge for them, not just to win 9 or 10 games, but get to the college football playoff and do something there.
No doubt. I don't think he's by any means going to be on any type of hot seat, but he does have the talent to do something. Will he do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the back end, as we're talking about safeties, to pull it back to what's going on in Fayetteville, that is I think a situation for Arkansas. And I've listened. We're going to get a chance to hear from Coach Perry later on at 11:40 today. That is a group that maybe is not as lacking production from last season as the wide receivers, but there's not a lot of guys from there last year. I'm curious what it looks like in Fayetteville for the back end, Bruce.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting this year to see what happens.
All right, so tell us what's going on in Pradco, man. Right in the summer, beginning of August. I know
it's still wade fishing time. A lot of our creeks, like the Kings River, Washita River, even Lee Creek, local to Fort Smith, they're clear, they're low. It's a great time to go wade fishing early in the morning if you got some time on a Saturday or a weekday. Get out there at 5:30, 6 a.m. Watch out for the snakes. But a crickhopper popper, a P50 popper, topwater is a great choice this time of year. A lot of the smallmouth and spotted bass are hitting topwater, and I always carry a 3-inch yum dinger, wacky rig it, and catch a lot of fish doing that too.
I know you got Nashville coming up. We got any other conventions or anything here these next couple months? I know you travel a lot.
Got one in San Antonio next week. It's the Bass Fishing Summit. There'll be biologists from 48 states, and we're going to talk about conservation and promoting bass fishing for the next half century.
Let's go. Pradco, made right here in Arkansas. Bruce, always appreciate the time, and thanks for giving us the Pradco Pyramid of Power today.
Good to see you.
All right, Hog Update coming up in just a bit. We're going to hear from Coach Fouch and some other wide receivers when we come back on the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is the Morning Rush.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what's for dinner.com.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
I'll be in Northwest Arkansas next Friday, and I'll be bringing you your $100. I'll be there, 100%.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Since the state's giving you a tax-free weekend, we figured we'd go one better. 2 weekends of state sales tax paid when you trade, and all the weekdays in between. Just bring in your old car and upgrade to the road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle of your choice and get state sales tax paid. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through August 9th. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Looking for the perfect gift that's personal and powerful? The Solid Rock has you covered. From custom laser engraved cutting boards and coasters to travel mugs and keepsakes. Each piece is made with care and personalized just for your special occasion, whether it's a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or just because. They help you give gifts that inspire, engraved with names, scriptures, or messages that honor Christ. Shop the Solid Rock, located next to Sam's Club on South 74th and Fort Smith. The Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 49 years.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
We love the Razorbacks. Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
7 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, woo big Suey. This is your hog update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
People don't know this is my first ever offer from baseball from Van Horn, so there was just something about Arkansas that always stuck in my mind.
Do you remember when you got that offer from Coach Van Horn, like how old you were? Like
After my freshman year.
Okay.
After my freshman year, I took a visit down here, and I want to say Todd Butler was the hitting coach at the time. I would have committed, if I'm being perfectly honest, if he wouldn't have left.
How about that? That's kind of a cool story. That was Monte Harrison, who turns 30 on Sunday, talking about his baseball career, and Dave Van Horn. Now, he elected to go to the minors right and take the draft, or he was drafted right out of college. But that was, again, there are some things you hear during fall camp you just kind of shake your head at, roll your eyes. But then there's a story like that. You're like, okay, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool, Colton.
Yeah, it is really neat. And, Monte Harrison is kind of this big mystery box that we got last year. It's kind of one of the stories of the summer of, hey, there's a former professional baseball player on our team trying to play wideout. And, we didn't get a chance to really see much from him on the field last year. And I think that when you're making that transition from playing one sport, doing one thing, specializing for such a long time, to go back to something you haven't practiced in 10 years, I think that just takes a lot of time to get used to, and a lot of time to get your feet back under you. And now we heard from Ronnie Fouch yesterday, and Monte could be seeing some playing time this year, not only because he's gotten better at some of the receiving things that you need to actually get better at, footwork, but that's a really big dude out there. That's a grown man, so he could also see a lot of blocking on the perimeter for some of these 18-year-old freshmen he might be blocking out there from Mississippi State. That's a pretty good little tool to have.
I felt like last season, anytime he was in, it was going to be a run play. But kind of what you were talking about there, the late start aspect, he expanded on that.
Nah, it definitely took some rust. I mean, I didn't put the pads on until fall camp around this time last year, and that was my first time in 10 years. So I think rust is kind of an understatement. I need more than WD-40 to be able to get through it. But nah, it took its rust. I think when I got through probably, I'll say like the 5th or 6th game of the year, I felt like I started to transition and started to feel more fluid. And then once I got into spring, the exact same thing happened. And then my main emphasis after that was really, in the summer, was like how much can I compete with myself every single day. I don't challenge guys in the room to be able to compete with each other, even though we do compete with each other, but how can I look myself in the mirror every single day and compete with myself? That's the only person that really matters.
That's, again, Arkansas wide receiver Monte Harrison sharing about Dave Van Horn and the college offer, and then also kind of his late start and hoping he continues on that. Keeping your hog update going this morning on a Tuesday, always brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Fan Day, they were going to have this back in the spring game. It ended up getting canceled. They made sure to say, hey, we're going to do another one. And I'm glad they are. This is going to take place on Saturday, August the 16th from 3 to 4:30. It's free. There's going to be an autograph session. And you can take advantage of this inside of Razorback State. Hold on. I read it earlier, and I want to make sure I got it right. So there's free parking, lots 201, 204 through 209. There's parking in a lot of different places that you can take advantage. Is it in Barnhill? Okay, I initially read it. I guess it is in Barnhill Arena, so you can get a free autograph poster upon arrival. That's what you're going to get signed in order to get through this process. That's what they're recommending. So rather than taking in a bunch of stuff or not, you can get that free autograph on the poster upon arrival. But it's good to see. I know this was something that I think fans were disappointed in that made the trek to Northwest Arkansas cold. It's good to see that they're doing this because of the last canceled event.
Yeah, you can cancel football practice and a football scrimmage because of the weather. That's understandable. Can't control that. To cancel an indoor event, you don't need to be outside to sign autographs. I thought that was a poor look. It's good that they're trying to make it up to the fans, and they need to do it right now before the season starts because, I mean, Ty, you've seen what the discussion is amongst the general consensus, amongst the population of Arkansas. There's not a lot of excitement. So anything to drum up a little bit should help.
And let me correct myself. There's a way that you can enter through Barnhill Arena, but near Barnhill Arena, I should say. Can't read this morning. Walker, it's inside Walker Pavilion. Yeah. I need to correct that. Not Barnhill. It's inside of Walker Pavilion. The entrance that they're recommending is nearest the east side of Barnhill Arena. So just wanted to get that in there. All right, that is your Hog Update here on a Tuesday. Hog Update, always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call
Sparky. Got our Morning Rush Daily question coming up in just a bit. It is National Oyster Day, Colton. Are you a fan of oysters on National Oyster Day?
I
Raw,
try not to be
char-grilled?
a picky eater, but I've just never had any type of. I've never wanted to eat an oyster.
Char-grilled with butter is the way to go. We ask our friend David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. David, we going raw? We going char-grilled? How do we go about eating oysters on National Oyster Day?
Man, it's been a really long time since I've had oysters, but I think the only time I've had them, I think they were raw. I think I did the half shell thing and, just doctored the heck out of them. Lots of hot sauce and stuff.
Well, next time you go to Louisiana with the family, you need to get a bunch of char-grilled ones. They are they're really tough to beat. I learned the char-grill method from my father. I didn't make them, but he always recommended to get them when we were at restaurants. So maybe you and Larry can go down to New Orleans or Baton Rouge and get you some oysters at some point in time next year on National Oyster Day.
That does sound good.
Well, I know we had tax-free weekend this past weekend. David, you guys are kind of like going beyond that. I mean, we got state sales tax paid when you trade at both Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi through August the 15th, man.
Yeah, we're doing that, and that's on both, the Road Ready Certified Pre-Owned at both locations and on the new Mitsubishis here at the Springdale store. We're doing that on, just across the entire lot. And we've already done that for a lot of people. It's kind of kicked our August off. A lot of people coming in and taking advantage of that. So, yeah, bring your old ride in. It's really kind of that simple. We need trade-ins. We're always trying to restock the lot at both places. So you bring your old ride in, and we're going to take care of you on state sales tax when you buy either a new Mitsubishi or a Road Ready Certified Pre-Owned.
Yep, and it's through again August the 16th. Take advantage and come see David. David, have a good rest of your week, and thanks for expanding tax-free weekend at Rath Mitsubishi.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, Morning Rush continues on next.
They steal the show. It's PM. It's all feel the flow. Morning Rush. Morning Glow.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I just like to moisturize my meat.
This is the Morning Rush.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what's for dinner.com.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Everyone can play in our room. I feel like we have the best receiver room in America, and that's from upperclassmen to lowerclassmen.
This is the Morning Rush.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. Delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Since the state's giving you a tax-free weekend, we figured we'd go one better. 2 weekends of state sales tax paid when you trade, and all the weekdays in between. Just bring in your old car and upgrade to the road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle of your choice and get state sales tax paid. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through August 9th. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed federal motor carrier safety administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
All right, so the Traveler's Choice came out with the best amusement and water parks in the country. Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is number one on the list, according to the Traveler's Choice Best of the Best Award. Dollywood. Others include Disney's Magic Kingdom, Universal Studios, and these are the top 15. Universal Studios. Silver Dollar City is the only one on this list that I have been to. Comes in at number 9. I haven't been. Have you been to any of these Disney, these wide world of fun places, Colton?
I've been to Universal Studios. I have been to some of the Disney parks. I've obviously been to Silver Dollar City. That's kind of my fallback plan for lifetime is I have the perfect body build to be thrown across a saloon table.
Nice.
So I think that if I ever can't hack it in this business, I'll just do one of those saloon shows at Silver Dollar City. But I've been to a few of these, and I have not been to Dollywood, so I can't say that it's the best of the best for sure. But my wife has been, and she said that she had a wonderful time. It's sort of that same type of eclectic, hillbilly-ish sort of, country folk, mountain folk type of vibe that I think Silver Dollar City is. So that's obviously, that's a nice little niche to fit into. But I have been to some of the Disney ones. Those are fun. It's just so hot in Florida and walking around.
Yeah.
They play all the same music. You get accosted by these, 8-foot tall mascots. It's It's not for me.
You didn't like when Mickey Mouse came up and hugged you?
No, I mean, it was okay. I mean, first of all, Mickey and Minnie are celebrities. So, like, unless you're unless you're paying lots of money or you're a small child, you're not going to get a chance to rub elbows with Mickey or Minnie Mouse. You're usually relegated to, like, some B or C character from a 2004 movie or something. It's not, you don't get to see the cream of the crop. They keep those away. Yeah.
The cuteness factor plays a role.
Now, whenever I have my son here in a few years, I'm sure we'll do the whole rigmarole. I'll pay millions of dollars to go down there to Florida, and he'll get to see every cast, every character in every movie. But, for me as an adult, when I went, it wasn't quite as fun. As a kid, I had a blast because stayed in like the sports themed game day resort down there. It was really awesome. But as an adult, it's just a lot of walking and a lot of overpriced stuff.
All right, so here is your Court Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. What is the best water park or amusement park that you've ever been to? Doesn't have to be on this list of top 15. Silver Dollar City is the only one that I've been to. Fire in the Hole used to be old back when I went. I haven't been there in quite some time. Wild River Country does not exist anymore. That was a place that I loved going as a kid. Six Flags. I've been to Six Flags. My dad took us to SeaWorld. We saw Shamu.
That's cool.
Not the one that killed all the trainers, but another one. I'm forgetting.
Secondary Shamu.
Yeah. Schlitterbahn, which... First off, you have to make sure you say correctly. Second, it's in New Braunfels, Texas, really close to San Antonio. It's one of the biggest water parks in the country. It's an awesome place. Had a fantastic time there. So those are a few of the ones that I've been to. I would probably, for nostalgia, say that Wild River Country was my favorite because I got to go maybe once a week as a kid, maybe once every 2 weeks, and it was so much fun. I never Hog Wild texted in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Magic Springs, never been.
Really?
Never went one time. Like,
that's like you can't really call yourself an Arkansan if you haven't been to Magic Springs at least once. I mean, it's a tradition. It's fun.
Here's the thing, Colton, at Hog Wild, when Wild River Country was about 45 minutes closer.
Yeah, that's true.
To a Little Rock kid, then you go to Wild River Country. I bought season passes when I was a kid growing up, just because you wanted to take advantage of that. SeaWorld in San Antonio is Cody and Lavaca's favorite amusement park or water park that he's been to. That was some cool stuff. Not a big fan of, just to be perfectly honest, aquariums. I thought this were, but SeaWorld, like, you've got things you can do. It's not just walking around and seeing things. My least favorite family vacation was the Chicago trip, because I told my parents before we walked into the Chicago Aquarium, this is going to be for 6-year-olds. I was right, as I usually was growing up. And it was a terrible experience. And I still make fun of my dad 20 years later for subjecting us to that crap.
I just don't.
15 years later, whatever.
Water parks in general, like swimming and essentially bathing with 1,000 people that you don't know.
You're bathing with your fellow man.
No, but like the stuff that's floating, or Band-Aids, people's used Coke tabs, things like that. It's just water parks. I just, that slide is not lubed up because of it's lubed up from everybody else's sweat. So you're getting a little extra miles per hour as you go down it. It's a safety hazard. Water parks are not for me. I am not a fan.
It builds up your immune system.
Yeah, when you have to swallow the water, it's...
Ryan in Prairie Grove says water parks are nothing but a staph infection.
That's right. It's just waiting to happen.
So you and him would be in the same thought on that. Darren in Alma has been to Schlitterbahn in New Braunfels as well. He thinks it's the best. Darren, it really is an awesome experience. Like, when you're a kid and you're getting to do these things, you're obviously set to have a son in less than a week, Colton. This is like when you're growing up, and I know nowadays they're just so expensive. Amusement parks, Disney World, Disneyland, Legoland, all these places charge you an arm and a leg. Like, I have friends who have kids that go to these places, and I'm like, so what did you fork over? And they're like, yeah, 15 grand, 20. I was like, what? And it's like, well, we got to do this, this, and this. I was like, that's still not worth it. And like they factor it all in. To me, that's a little over the top, but for the kids, it is quite an experience.
They have some adult things. Like when I went to Epcot for my honeymoon. Me and my wife, we went to Disney, we went to South Florida, we went to Miami. We had a good time, and it was awesome. But we went to Epcot, because at Epcot, Ty, have you been to Epcot? You haven't been to Disney World or anything
No.
like that? Well, Epcot,
Don't have any
it's
desire to go.
It's just it's an acronym for something, but it's the city of tomorrow. So they have a bunch of countries around the world that you can go to, and at Epcot they sell alcohol at every single one of those things from every single different country.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, we took a tour around the world and did alcohol. I think I made it through 6 countries before I had to tap out, say that I was done with my World War. But it was there's lots of fun things that you can do at some of these, that are kind of designed and geared towards adults. Like we went to Universal Studios. I got to go see the Harry Potter world, and I got my own wand. So I would pay lots of money to do that again. That was
That's
fun.
something my bonus sisters would love doing. Hog Wild texting in, swimming in water parks is like swimming in bacteria. Jeff also brings up, let's not forget about the brain-eating amoeba. How do you say that? Amoeba.
Amoebas, yeah.
At water parks. It's been a while since I've said that. JT and Hot Springs Counters. Colton, smack my head. Water parks are great. Austin,
shake my head, but yeah, I mean, I look. They're not for everybody.
All right, I had this argument, and that's again your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question: best water park or amusement park. To me, it's smack my head.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Shaking my head. You can do the shaking, but smack my head is more like. It's more.
So you're smacking your own head because you disagree?
Come on. That's what I've always labeled. I know it's shaking my head, but I've always labeled it smacking my head. Aaron in Ozark says that we've had our poor man's amusement parks near the Mulberry River.
Yeah, that's the best way to get out and enjoy water in the summer is to get out and find somewhere that nobody else is. That's exactly right.
Lots of good swimming holes here in the natural state. Cart Pass Social. Morning Rush Daily Question. Best amusement or water park? I'll tell you a place you can have some fun is at Cart Pass Social. Stop in and see him, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. Give Nate Garahan, Christian Olsen a call, 479-487-3622. I know there's a heat wave right now in the month of August. Well, you can play golf, air conditioned. If you play by yourself, it only takes about an hour to get through 18 holes. It's not a 4 or 5 hour round. You're not sweating outside. Plus, you can play over 1,000 different courses. Corporate, business events, team building exercises. Go to cartpasssocial.com for more information and check them out on Facebook and Instagram. It is always BYOB at Cart Pass Social.
Much cheaper than going to any amusement park, I guarantee.
Yes, that is 100% correct. So we're going to get a chance to listen to Tom Murphy coming up, who's been at practice and taking some of the stuff in. Tom always does a great job of kind of giving us an inside perspective of that. Speaking of inside perspective, I've gotten a chance to listen to a little bit of Bobby Petrino talking about Talon Green and kind of the what that looks like being on the field, what they're trying to focus on, and at practice. Here's a little clip of these two talking a little bit.
So you say...
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying this foot is going to go here. See how my toes pointed where I'm at? Now I'm getting them to the ball deep. I'm giving him all that alley to run the ball.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right?
Put out. Shut.
That's better. That's better. That's better. Put out.
I know that people are excited about the prospect of what Talon can do in 2025. The idea of Bobby Petrino in year 2 has been spouted on these airwaves hundreds, if not thousands of times in the offseason. So when you kind of get like that, apparently Talon's advocating, we'll ask Tom about this, advocated for that VR technology so he can watch himself, what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. Obviously, they're going to have film and everything else. But I don't remember, and maybe someone can help me on this, and there's always quarterback pressure in Arkansas. Like Cam Newton's been on the record saying the 4 most prominent positions in Alabama are the quarterback for Auburn, the coach of Auburn, the coach of Alabama, and the quarterback of Alabama. I mean, I think there's a legitimate case that maybe not top 2, but at least top 5. Talon, whether you want to say it or not, is one of the top 5 most important, if not most prominent, people in Arkansas, Colton.
Well, there's 100,000 people every Saturday that are going to, decide whether or not they're going to get super drunk or just drunk enough to numb the pain, on whether or not, depending on how this kid plays. And I'm making light of it, but the point is that obviously, Ty, this is one of the only kids that that's a star of your team that's been a holdover from last year that you saw time and time again do things that thought,
you're like, whoa,
that's a it's a pretty good guy. I'd like to have him on my team for another year. So because of the fact that it's a transfer portal world and players are moving left and right, we don't know what's coming next. We don't know who's going to be on our team from sometimes even one semester to the next. You know, it's good to have Taylor Green back. And you talked about how he has that VR stuff and he's trying to get better. I think, Ty, to your point, everybody in that facility knows that this is a very important and pivotal year. And, you know, of all people yesterday, I think Derek Ruskin made a good point. He said that they do appear a little bit pissed off. They do seem like they have this chip on their shoulder. And I know that's one of those camp mantras that everybody carries with them. But look, they've been picked last every year for God knows how long, dang near. So I think Taylor Green is one of those guys that turns that into motivation. And with Bobby Petrino, who's always been slighted, yeah, it's a good tag team, good combo to have.
Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong.
And we'll be as happy as it gets.
I will eat my words. I'll gobble them up.
Happily, we'll do the exact same thing. Hey, brought to you this morning by Arts Barbecue and Burgers. Great place that you can stop in. Try the Wild West Burger. Comes with a hot link and jalapenos, plus the Arts Hoss sauce. The brisket burger, tender brisket, caramelized onions. The famous burger, the Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. It doesn't get any better than that at Arts Barbecue and Burgers. All your barbecue cravings. And don't forget the delicious sides as well. Arts Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith. When we come back here on the Morning Rush, we'll hear more from Tom Murphy, get his thoughts on what he's seen at fall camp the last few days.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what's for dinner.com.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fifth Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Clear skies overnight, low mid to upper 60s tonight, and then midweek, plenty of sunshine, a high low 90s. We should be close to 95 on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 25 days.
First of all, I just want to know, Ty, are you going to be there next Friday?
Am I going to be where next Friday?
Are you going to be there on the show next Friday?
I think so. Check my calendar, but I don't think I have anything off that day.
Okay, well, my plan is I'll be in Northwest Arkansas next Friday, and I'll be bringing you your $100.
All right. And it'll get in. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to donate that to the Good Samaritans Clinic. So thank you, Brian.
Okay, I will be there. I would have been there last week, but you were off somewhere. So
actually, we're going to be at Hardee's. We're going to be at Hardee's that day in Fort Smith. If you want to come by and see us there.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
We'll even buy you breakfast.
Yes. Eat you a sausage.
Okay, the all new Longhorn biscuit from Hardee's.
What time will you be there next Friday?
9 to 11. So you can come visit us anytime between that.
I'll be there. 100%.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Is he going to show a week from Friday?
How does he not know when you're going to be there? He knows what times these shows are. He calls in all the time.
I don't know. Maybe that's his stick. Hey, it's hour 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Tuesday. Tom Murphy set to join us momentarily. I don't know if that's more far-fetched or hearing something like this.
Everyone can play in our room. I feel like we have the best receiver room in America, and that's from upperclassmen to lowerclassmen.
If that was said in Tuscaloosa or Columbus or Auburn or Clemson, I think people would take that and say, you know, that there's some truth to that. But that was said here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Now, again, I don't want to belittle Raylan Sharp or Fouch saying this.
Challenging them to come together more as a family, because I think that's going to help us win a championship. Obviously, we're closer and not individuals.
But it's stuff like this that makes fans just kind of tune out when it comes to fall camp conversation. Now, there's good stuff like Monte's backstory on Dave Van Horn and his first college baseball offer, Rohan Jones being from Canada.
I will be honest, I didn't know what the SEC was till like maybe last year.
Like that's stuff like that is cool. But the first things that I played, not so much. Not so much. Oh, we'll get into some more stuff from Tom. Tom's been at these practices. He's got firsthand experience, so excited to hear from Tom coming up momentarily. We're brought to you this morning by APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-to-mix concrete. Whether you're working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, they've got you covered. No job's too big or too small. Do you need expert advice? They have it. Give them a call, 479-587-3300, to make sure you're always on the right track. Maybe it's a turnkey solution for your construction project. You need that asphalt and ready-mix concrete and the engineering, the surveying, construction. Again, APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300. That's 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group. So fall camp has been underway since, I'm going to count Thursday, since Sam Pittman and Ben Souders were up on the podium. Technically, the guys get out there on Friday. We're now 25 days out from the upcoming season.
Into the arms of Felix Jones. He'll bring it back out at the 10, the 15, the 20, 25, 30, and he may go all the way. He's at the midfield spot, at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas.
I feel like it's apropos to play a clip from the late Paul Ills, who obviously passed away 19 years ago today, this past week, and being it's 25 days out, Felix Jones and one of the many, many touchdowns he had at Arkansas. All right, let's get a firsthand perspective and talk to our friend Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
We got something called beef, B-E-E-F.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Once again, beef.
Tom, we always like talking to you. Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I know you've listened to a lot of coaches these last couple of days. Coach Pittman, Coach Souders, Coach Fouch. We're going to hear from Coach Perry later on in the secondary. A lot of players as well. You've been riding. You've been just doing transcripts and everything else. Tom, what has stood out to you in these first couple of days, getting some eyes on in practice here in Fayetteville?
Well, good morning, Ty. It's always a pleasure, and I appreciate the compliment. I always enjoy talking to you guys as well. So I would say that Sam Pittman's enthusiasm about the team is pretty strong. I mean, greater than a lot of the fans. And I just think he feels that because they added so many veteran players who know how to practice and kind of know what it takes, that they're gonna upgrade. But so much is contingent on if the offensive line is really going to be better, if they can find somebody who can rush the passer, and if there's enough depth and all that kind of stuff. But it's not different than probably any other camp you find across college football. Optimism. And if this and this and this go right, then we have a chance to be a good team. We can surprise some people. For Arkansas and many other teams across the SEC who want better seasons, you got to go in there and they beat Tennessee last year. Well, they got to pull off 2 or 3 of those for it to be a special season, and they have to pull off a bunch of them for it to be, an unforgettable type season. So a lot of work to do, but there's optimism in camp.
Tom, it starts with Talon Green. I know that they're doing some virtual reality stuff. He's trying to get better. You've probably gotten a chance to listen to Coach Petrino and just his conversations with not just Talon, but the other quarterbacks. What has stood out with you about Arkansas's QB1 here these first few days?
Well, I mean, so far so good. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot outside of fastballs, and I don't think they're showing a whole lot to the media in fastballs, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if, like, Omega Blake has been targeted. I think C.J. Brown's been targeted a couple times, and surely Raylan Sharp, and who, in my view, I'll probably make a prediction on this late in camp, but at this stage of camp, I would say Sharp might have the best chance of leading the team in receptions. We might revisit that later. But his position in the slot is going to be really big for this receiving core this year. And, I mean, Taylor's dynamic in the run game is always going to be a huge part of it, because if you can get teams playing man and he can break free from the rush or whatever, he can really hurt you. He can run on 3rd and 5, and I mean he can do so many different things. So keeping him healthy is a big part of their plans this year. And how much better will he be? How much quicker on his reads? How much more understanding will he have of what the defense is trying to do to him? He talked about that in Atlanta at great length. And if he can process things faster, make smarter reads, find some receivers he believes in, it could be an upgrade for Arkansas's offense overall. And honestly, when you finish 10th in the country in total offense, there's not a whole lot of room to go up.
Mm-hmm. We're talking with Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat, is here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tom's visit's always courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council. You mentioned Raylan Sharp, the possibility, and haven't written it yet, but at least you're kicking it around as an idea. Tom, why do you think that? What has he done in the limited practice that you've gotten to watch to make you believe that he belongs even in that conversation?
Well, for starters, he knew Petrino's offense from his year at Missouri State, and it might have been 2 years he had in that system before he went to Fresno. And he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, we talked to him yesterday, and it's about, he said, almost verbatim, I always knew I was deserved to play on this level, or I could play on this level. So he's got a lot to prove, and to me, that was the theme of the receivers in the room with us, with Ronnie Fouch yesterday, receivers coach. They've got a lot to prove. But I just think his position, Taylor likes him, first of all. You can see he looks at him. He thinks he's going to be open. And in the slot, I mean, you're up against nickel backs. You're up against maybe safeties who don't have the greatest cover skills. So I just think his position, his veteran presence, his knowledge of the Petrino offense, and his connection with Taylor all kind of stack up in his favor.
And I think that's a hopefully something that will help Arkansas. You mentioned the chip on the shoulder. I think that's been used to hopefully describe this football team, because I think there's a lot of people that have them as just kind of a mid team around 500. Listen, every college football team is motivated in some way, shape, or form. But has that been something you've noticed, not just in the wide receiver room, but across the position groups with this team in fall camp thus far?
Certainly, and it was the most demonstrative yesterday, because I think they know that there's such a changeover at receiver. When you add up Armstrong, Tesla, Satania's, and Broden's catches, and Luke has, you're looking at, 80-90% of their catches last year. And then, you add in Jaquindon Jackson and Rashad Dubin, and you got a lot more of those catches.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they feel like they're undervalued. I think they feel like they know the general vibe on Arkansas is picked well low in the SEC, and the expectations aren't great, and the schedule's tough. I mean, their 4 road games are all against teams who were ranked in the SEC. And then
more games last year too, Tom. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
joking up.
Yeah, it's tough, and they got Notre Dame on the schedule too. So I do believe there's a lot of that. We're going to try to prove people wrong this year vibe to this team.
Okay, and on the subject of wide receivers, Tom, I listened to Coach Fouch yesterday, talked about the difference in body types. I mean, Broden's 6'6", 6'7", Tesla 6'3", 6'4", Andrew kind of that same length. By no means were those guys slow. Broden and Tesla particularly had wheels, and Andrew was just an incredible route runner and had awesome hands. But that was one of the things. And I know Omega Blade's kind of that 6'3" range, but you got a lot of smaller body. The composition in this room, and maybe what you picked on it, and what Coach Fouch had to say about it.
Exactly. That was to my question of Arkansas fans are used to seeing these tall guys, and when you look at the room, so I think we all wrote in spring that you don't have a bunch of tall guys, and I thought his response was very telling, and I'm writing about this at length tomorrow, in that we wanted guys with grit and toughness and fast. We think they can get open. And so, you do add Antonio Jordan, who's not super fast, but can win a lot of 50-50 balls. So between Blake and Antonio Jordan, you do have, and then some other guys are 6'1", 6'2", like that, but not like in the range of Tesla and Broden. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic because I think creating separation last year was a real issue for this team. And so they addressed that and specifically recruited guys who, maybe have more speed and have the ability to beat man coverage and find open pockets and zones and make the catches and then make yards after catch, which is a big thing because they didn't have a ton of that last year.
I know that there's been a few people that have attended practice, not on the team or the staff. I think Ethan, your colleague, wrote about Anthony Switzer, who was on the team last year, Coach Tice, who was at Harrison for a number of years, now at Farmington. Any other notable appearances from former players or just anyone else to note, Tom, that's been at fall camp these last few days?
Yeah, well, another ex-Farmington coach, Mike Adams, he's in Fayetteville High School, my former neighbor. He's a regular at practices. He's been here, in a series of scouts. I mean, they had about 4 yesterday, including the Titans and I think the Browns, a couple more. The Broncos were there today, and ex-players are gonna show up. And yeah, I did see Switzer yesterday, and it's good to see. But always in camp, you're going to have some of that going on.
Later on today, you're going to get a chance to talk with Coach Perry on kind of the defensive back end. And Tom, I know we've talked for the first 10 minutes or so more about offense, wide receiver room, and whatnot. Maybe what as a guy that's watched fall camp and those positions the last few days, maybe what's curious to you of Coach Perry and heading into this season 25 days from now?
Yeah, I think he's more specifically the corners guy. So we'll be talking to several cornerbacks today, and we haven't seen not since spring we haven't seen one-on-one type stuff like the receivers versus the DBs, and I think that's intentional because we'd be writing about who's looking great and all that kind of stuff, and maybe they want to keep that to a minimum. But so the big question is, and this is a Sam Pittman line, that they're taller at cornerback, and I think they're going to hold up more so they can do more creatively with their pass rush. And so that's Jaheim Singletary. I think he's 6'1", and then you look across the board. Selman Bridges is a tall corner, 6'2". Kanai Walker and Julian Neal are both over 6 feet tall, and so it gives you a little bit more chance against taller receivers. And if they have the speed to match it, they might hold up a lot better in man coverage. I know that was a big focus because they were last in the SEC in passing yards allowed this year. So they've got to make big strides there. And if you have corners that you can rely on, and not only couple, but maybe you can go 4 deep, it's a big component to playing really good defense is having that.
Thomas, we'll let you go this morning. We appreciate your time as always. Coach's poll is out. Texas at 1, Ohio State at 2. I think Notre Dame's at 5. You've got several teams that you have to play this season that are included in that top 25. Any surprises when you saw the coaches poll either this morning or yesterday?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, and then I think there was it 8 or SEC teams in the poll, or
that sounds right.
8 or 9. But anyway, and Oklahoma and Auburn, or Oklahoma and Missouri were the first 2 teams out of it. So Arkansas is playing a bunch of teams that are ranked right now, including Notre Dame. And honestly, the Memphis game, I mean, they were in the other receiving boats. And if they get off to a good start, 2-0, and some of those other teams drop, they could be ranked by the time Arkansas plays them in week 4. So it's a tough schedule. And as I mentioned before, all 4 of their conference road games are against teams that are ranked, including highly ranked like Texas, LSU, and then they also have Ole Miss and Tennessee. So you're playing teams that were in the playoffs last year, highly regarded. But if you're going to have a good season, you got to win the home games. You got to try to knock one of these road teams off. So it's no different than all these other years that Arkansas's schedule's always been the toughest. It just doesn't have Alabama on it.
Yeah, or Georgia, which I was advocating for yesterday. If I'm Hunter Yurachek or anyone within the athletics department, I'm sending an email, a letter, or calling the SEC office every day and saying we don't want Alabama and Georgia both on the road or both at home, because you don't want that what Auburn has to deal with each and every year. Like, they get them at home this year, Tom, but they have to travel on the road in 2026. And I know that's not exactly an easy situation based on the power of both those programs. Well, Tom, we'll leave it there, man. Good stuff as always, and we'll chat again on Thursday, and we'll see if anything happens notable between now and then.
Outstanding. See you then.
All right, Tom Murphy always brings it. Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. His conversations with us here on Tuesdays brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. On a cattle ranch, calves aren't the only ones raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers and ranchers and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by the beef farmers and ranchers, courtesy of beefwhatsfordinner.com. That is the Arkansas Beef Council. Tom mentioned a couple things there, just kind of pertaining to practice and everything else. And you always kind of go back to the quarterback situation with your your offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino, Talon Green. And here's what Petrino had to say about Talon in the offseason.
His ability to get to the right spot on the certain drops that we take and the timing on doing that. You know, sometimes he's a little bit lackadaisical on the speed of his footwork, but he really has worked hard on it this spring, and he understands fronts and coverages a lot better now. Our consistency of our accuracy, and a lot of that came down to technique and fundamentals on how he's carrying the ball and how he's setting when he throws it to the right.
I know Sam Pittman shared that story of Talon's dad, Quentin Green, calling him a day or so before the portal opened, say, you don't have to worry about my son transferring. He's going to stay here in Fayetteville, which obviously took a big relief off Sam Pittman's shoulders. But kind of going back to what you brought up earlier, Colton, like the mentality this team is taking, not just the wide receiver room, which is not highly thought of. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's not. Now, they can prove us wrong, and I hope they do. But if I'm Talon Green and I'm one of the few returning quarterbacks in last season, did I expect to be an all-SEC quarterback? No. Do I expect to be a top 7 or 8 quarterback? I would think Talon would have that in his head that he is. You would like him to think he's maybe a top 5, top 4 quarterback. That might not be the case, but I mean, if I'm Talon, I feel like I'm slighted heading into this season. And hopefully that same thought process gets to the rest of the football team, not just the wide receivers, but the entire squad.
I mean, this is a guy that played with, 70% for the last couple of games of the year. He was banged up at times because he's so athletic. He's having to make plays because of the fact that there was no edge set for him by his left tackle or his right tackle. Occasionally, the right guard and the left guard would just leave these cavernous gaps for defensive tackles to run right through. So Talon was having to do a lot by himself and didn't have the time to get in there and do all these technique things that Bobby Petrino was talking about fixing all the time. The guy was running for his life, Ty, and still last year he was 40 yards short of breaking the school's record for all-purpose yards in a season, or total yards in a season. 40 yards short, and he was probably getting sacked at least once or twice a game because his line couldn't block for him. His receivers couldn't separate. We heard Tom say that. So this year alone, you're thinking that because of the fact that you have more depth at both of those positions, from what we've heard from these coaches, Talon will have an opportunity to at least have a little bit more time to make decisions, which Bobby admitted he has struggled with occasionally, being a bit lackadaisical in his footwork and going through his progression. So having another year in the lab with an absolute quarterback guru like Bobby Petrino can be nothing but fruitful for Talon Green. So what you hope is that the team and the program around him is also built up and capable of, doing the right thing for him. Coach Fauci talked yesterday in the press conference about how, look, if you don't block, you don't play. We got guys like Talon Green and Braylon Russell and Mike Washington that can turn a little 5-yard play into, a 75-yard play. So receivers got to block for him. So if the team is built up around this great talent that you have in Talon Green, and Talon Green recognizes that, look, I have to be a better, higher IQ football player, they can be a lot better than they were last year. And they should play with more of that chip on your shoulder, Ty.
Well, so Tom didn't come right out and say it, but it sounds like he's leaning towards maybe Raylan Sharp leading the team in catches and maybe yards this year. I think it's going to be personally Omega Blake. Yeah. Here was Ronnie Fauch talking about him. By the way, Ronnie Fauch, wide receivers coach at Arkansas, talking about Omega, one of your newest additions yesterday.
I think he's got a very high ceiling. He came in, it's a lot of offense to learn, but luckily he came in the wintertime, got the offense down, made strides in spring ball, kind of came in on at the end of spring and started making some big-time plays. making people miss in the open field. The thing about Omega that I like is he's a competitor. He's tough. He's explosive, very coachable. I can coach him as hard as I.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just going to say what most position coaches say, giving their guys credit about the team. But 6'3", Columbia, South Carolina, Charlotte, now in Fayetteville. You got these kids like Raylan, Missouri State, and Fresno, Cam Shanks, UAB, Gene, Florida State. You're going to have to help me with something just kind of popping off. The kids that either have started their career at maybe a Power 4 school, or maybe they're coming over kind of like Tesla and Armstrong did, which honestly in lower classifications at Hillsdale and Texas A&M Commerce. So I think, again, where I keep coming back to, and I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. Like, I don't like – it's not negative. It's just what I think. It's when you bring up Andrew Armstrong and Isaac Tesla, obviously Isaac gets drafted to the Detroit Lions 3rd round. Andrew has an incredible season, over 1,000 yards, one of the few players in Razorback history to do so. Again, that wasn't their year one. Yeah. Like, which kid is going to use the only offseason they have for this upcoming year? Because you can't wait. Like, is it going to be Omega? Is it going to be Raylan? Is it going to be Cam? Is it going to be maybe C.J. Brown, who takes a step as I can't remember if he's a redshirt freshman or sophomore. Is it going to be a kid that's already on your campus? You got so much turnover and whatnot. Like, you can't wait on this kid or one of these kids to have an outstanding year 2 or a junior season. Like, it has to be now. And when you look at great football teams, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that their quarterbacks don't spread the wealth, but they do have that one guy. That one guy. Like Will Howard, when he was dropping back to pass in Columbus last year or anywhere else, he had a young freshman, the best in college football, Jeremiah Smith, where it didn't matter if he was doubled, tripled, quadrupled, he was throwing him the football, and most of the time he'd come down with it. Arkansas, of course, doesn't have a freshman All-American, much less an All-American, much less maybe an All-SEC guy that lines up on the outside. But you've at least got to be, if you're a wide receiver, to develop enough chemistry and trust with Talon that he feels like even when he's about to get hit, even when maybe it's not you don't have the largest of, what am I looking for? Not breakaway, but you don't have the largest gap between you and the cornerback, you and the safety, you and the linebacker, whatever, that he trusts you enough to go make a play, which Andrew did so many times last season. Did that in turn maybe prohibit the offense for taking that next step? Maybe. Because at times he was too locked in on Andrew. So curious to see how that all plays out as we're 25 days out from this Arkansas football season. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by Grit Garage Doors. Maybe you have a squeaky door or a broken remote opener. Maybe your door's off track. You just need a new one. Call Grit Garage Doors. Local teams in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. And unlike the other guys, they're family owned and operated. And they don't operate off commission. Just fair prices and exceptional value. Grit Garage Doors provides a integrity and service that you haven't seen before. Check out their Facebook page for a family fun day giveaway, complete with food, travel money, and more. They love families and giving back to their community. No job is too small or too large. Custom door, you dream it, they can build it. Rental property, need a new door? No problem. That's Grit Garage Doors. One more time, Grit Garage Doors. We've got our SEC update coming up as we continue on a Tuesday next.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Challenging them to come together more as a family, because I think that's going to help us win a championship. Obviously, we're closer and not individuals.
This is the Morning Rush.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. At Dixie Digital, we go beyond copiers. We offer complete solutions to help your business thrive, including IT services, secure cloud solutions, and productivity-enhancing printers. With Xerox, Brother, and Epson cutting-edge technology, we ensure you have everything you need to succeed. Call us at 783-6600 to discover our latest technology and services. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally held the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So message boards are always entertaining, whether they're local or there are other SEC fan bases. And Colton, I guess you found a message board post about the Arkansas football program, athletics department? What'd you find here, man?
As seen on an SEC message board yesterday, posted from somewhere in the Deep South. How valuable is Arkansas to the SEC really? They came in hot with the basketball natty in the mid-'90s. At that time, I feel like it was reasonable to believe that they would be a valued member. Plus, they had some decent football teams in the 90s and early 2000s. But they've fallen completely off a cliff. No Big Three natties since. They don't have a large fan base or deliver major TV markets. They aren't a compelling brand name. They honestly might have more fun in the Big 12. For their athletic department, it should be more about having fun. Nobody cares about track and field championships. Plus, they don't really have a true rival. They are the type of program that is considered the fourth or fifth biggest rivalry by a lot of programs.
That is true.
They were not founding members of the conference, so they don't really get any credit for turning the SEC into the juggernaut that it is today. And you're probably thinking, can I say all these things about South Carolina? This is where it was posted from. No, I don't think you can. At least South Carolina is a nice state. I'm honestly not trying to be he says that. Hey, I know I'm not allowed to say that one. Not trying to be a bad word. But Northeast and Central Arkansas are the closest places I've seen to the third world in the United States.
How dare they speak about Central and Northeast Arkansas like that? And yes, you could say very similar things about South Carolina and everything that's been out, but I don't think I've been on the record about this. Like, what rival of yours lists you even in the top three? I'll just go down the list, right? So I'm looking at the SEC. LSU, I don't think considers you a top three rival.
No.
Alabama,
no.
Ole Miss, and Florida are above you. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they probably consider Alabama still up there. And then maybe you inch into the top three. Like, you keep going down the list. Texas doesn't consider you a top three rival. Some people don't even view A&M as a rival. Missouri is the only one that does. And they've got the border war this year. More people that are Missouri fans care about beating Kansas than care about beating Arkansas. So you might be second, but I think there's a lot of Missouri fans that frankly consider Oklahoma a bigger rival than you. Because that is always going to be a bigger game to them, because Oklahoma, more often than not, is going to be better than you. So I get where that's coming from. South Carolina, Clemson they butt heads, but in the SEC, that's kind of that situation. So I don't take huge issue with this. I get how some fans would, but personally I don't, because I think a lot of what was said there is right. Not about Central and Eastern Arkansas, but a lot of what was said is
that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy to say things about Central Arkansas like that, or Northeast Arkansas. But I think that, talking about this, the thing that I had an issue with is that he says, can I say all these things about South Carolina? No, I don't think you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you absolutely can. What? You won 2 back-to-back baseball championships, college baseball championships a decade or so ago. 15 years ago or so? 2010, 2011, something like that. And I'm sorry to tell you this and everybody else, but still, that's still a second or third tier sport when it comes to viewing and watching in this country. So a bunch of people saw it, and a bunch of people have forgotten it since then, because nothing makes any money like basketball and football. And to be honest with you, South Carolina's had some good success. They've had some good seasons, some really good players. And if there is one Shane Beamer, if there's one Shane Beamer hater in the world, it is I promise.
He's the worst loser in the world. But I would be shocked if they ended up actually living up to the hype and going to the college.
But you want to talk about the athletic departments as a whole, and nobody cares about track and field championships. Well, the SEC office does when they bring in revenue from that. Yeah. And everybody else does as well. And the Arkansas, while they may have a small population and not a large fan base that deliver major TV markets, well, there's only 3 million people in the state, sure. But on Saturdays in the fall, there's 1.5 million TVs on in the state of Arkansas to watch the Razorbacks. More that can be said about anything from South Carolina, because to be honest with you, Clemson is their daddy.
Yeah, Clemson has definitely won their fair share. Dabo upended that rivalry when he finally beat Spurrier. Clemson's won 2 national championships. South Carolina's been to 2 SEC championships in the last decade and a half or so, but hasn't necessarily lived up to their own in-state rival in the Clemson Tigers. Matt from the 501 texting in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. What account from South Carolina said that? Arkansas is a better athletic program and have a winning record against Carolina in all 3 major sports. Matt, that's just good common sense. Thank you for for texting
And
that
Nate in
in.
Bentonville brings up a great point about how Don Saley in South Carolina women's basketball is a great program. And if you're hanging your hat on your women's basketball program, go Cox.
All right, continue on your SEC update. 8 teams, as Tom was telling us earlier, wind up in the coaches poll top 25. Arkansas, not one of them. The likes of Texas, Notre Dame, who else is on this list? LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Tennessee are going to be your opponents this fall. So you got to play 6 of the top 25 teams, more than or about a fourth of college football that winds up in the top 25 that you'll play this season. Handful of those games are on the road too, which is always fun. Florida's in the top 20, which I thought was interesting. Gators, a lot of question marks about them being ranked number 17. So we'll see if DJ Lagway and company can do that. Keeping it going. If you haven't heard the news, Derek Dooley is running for Senate. This is something we talked with Bruce Stanton about earlier, and this is a guy that didn't win. Like Tuberville, who is Clay corrected me correctly earlier, is not an Alabama state senator. He is a United States senator. There is a distinction for those that don't know. I do know that, Clay, but I said it incorrectly, as I often do when I utter things on these airwaves. But
can you clarify if Dooley is running for the Georgia Senate or for United States senator from Georgia? Because do we know?
Didn't do that much research. I believe it's a U.S. Senate seat in Georgia. So like what Tuberville currently is right now.
That'd make more sense.
The difference is that Tuberville won a lot of college football games and Dooley did not, as Bruce Stanton so eloquently pointed out earlier. So curious to see if we have another former college football coach on the United States Senate. Keeping your SEC update going, Garrett Nussmeier took his friends out to eat, and they racked up an $800 bill. His offensive line, I should say. One of the guys said, we ran the bill up. It was amazing. This sounds like when I go out to eat with Tommy, and he pays for it, and I get whatever I want.
That's a good
the
deal.
way to go about it. Last thing here, this is something maybe the SEC should consider doing. Heard Derek and Zach talking about this yesterday. The ACC games on Friday and Saturday night are going to do basically you can hear the replay, you can hear them talking and everything. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything about the SEC doing. I would think this would be something that the SEC office should do. Now, Tommy's pointed this out, and I think if anyone knows on the show, it would be him, that there's really maybe the jargon or what's said is not as interesting as you might think. But there's always a conspiracy out there that they phone back to Birmingham. Arkansas is playing Alabama or Georgia. Who do you think is going to get the call in a pivotal situation? Or Auburn, as we've seen so many times, or Florida that we saw in 2009. So even if it's not that entertaining, you might as well air the audio, right? Eliminate the conspiracy altogether. If you do that, you will have less complaints, less verbal attacks, and I would think, right?
I mean,
makes too much sense.
Transparency is good, but you're right. It does make too much sense. And I don't know if, look, the ACC, they can do that. I mean, that's fine. And maybe the SEC will as well. But look, Tommy said this yesterday, talking about taking the virtual measurements for first downs and stuff like that, taking the human element out of the game. Unfortunately, replay is part of that as well. I don't think that there's any implicit bias between, whether or not this person went to school at this university or whether or not their grandma did or whatnot. But I do think that it is good to have some of that transparency. And at the same time, you can't just let a computer decide. And I think that it's good to get that out there for everybody to listen to. Will they do it? No, it makes too much sense, like you said.
All right, that is your SEC update here on a Tuesday. SEC update this morning brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina. Always something going on with daily specials at Joe's. Throwback Thursday has a rotation of Kuko's Classics, which used to be at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They've always got their fresh-made salsa, which is fantastic, made with fresh veggies. You can try their tacos here on a Taco Tuesday. They've got all-you-can-eat enchiladas later in the week. Joe's Grill and Cantina always has that full bar and the best service, plus the TVs for Razorback games as well. Great Tex-Mex and the best service at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex styles always at Joe's. All right, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, this morning, and I want to talk about it because I always find that we have an audio clip or two that we'll play throughout the season, is the announcement of the Little Rock Touchdown Club. David Basil does a fantastic job. David's a friend. He always puts together what I think and what many consider to be the best touchdown club in the United States of America. There's ones all over the country, but he gets guys and gals as well that maybe have had incidents in the past, everyone else. And this is kind of like I don't know if airing out the dirty laundry is the right way to put it, but it's sold out every year. It's just a really good job. So some of the notables that are a part of this are Jimmy Johnson, Lawrence Taylor, excited about Darren McFadden. Coach Pittman's going to be there. Hunter Yurchek's going to be there. Former Notre Dame wide receiver Tim Brown. That should be exciting heading up. Craig James is a part of this. Colton, you were talking about Kelly Finglass, who leads up the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I know that's of interest to your wife.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm gonna probably see if I can, get tickets or find my way into the door to go to Little Rock Touchdown Club for that, because that would be fun. My wife has watched her on the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders docu-series they do every year, and she's great. She's a good speaker too, so it should be fun.
Mac Brown, Mark May,
lots of people. Mondre Hill, I saw that at the bottom there. That'd be cool.
Anthony Lucas, so a lot of cool events. So David, great job once again. You did another stellar job of this speaker lineup in 2025. We'll obviously play some audio clips as it gets closer, and there's different talks and conversations about that. All right, we've got more to get to. CJ's Trivia Tuesday coming up in just a bit. I'm going to be honest. I know Tommy's golfing today. I don't know what he's doing the rest of the week. Wouldn't be surprised if he went to Gaston's White River Resort, because he loves going there. 870-431-5202. Great place that you can have with your friends, your family, your coworkers. You could stay the night. You could go for a day. It's always a great time at Gaston's. For example, my parents love to go. They don't even fish. They just go for the nature and the food. There's so much to do there. Check it out, gastons.com. One more time, Clint, Jacob, 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
What makes this one great? Because we're another day closer to death.
This is the Morning Rush. The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you. So why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You live every.
The worldwide leader in sports.
It was her first ball game with my wife, and we ended up on that field. We were in section 104.
Brother, you just turned the light bulb on. You gotta go with somebody. At least I go with a winner.
Tommy, they're great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
People don't know this is my first ever offer too from baseball from Van Horn, so there was just something about Arkansas that always stuck in my mind.
Do you remember when you got that offer from Coach Van Horn, like how old you were? Like
After my freshman year.
Okay.
After my freshman year, I took a visit down here, and I want to say Todd Butler was the hitting coach at the time. I would have committed if I'm being perfectly honest if he wouldn't have left.
That was the voice of Monte Harrison talking about his first collegiate baseball offer, which evidently was here in Fayetteville at Arkansas. Didn't know that. Talked to or listened to him a little bit, I think, last season, and don't remember that coming up. We had Coach Parks on, who kind of helped get him to Fayetteville, it sounds like, Limbo Parks, who played at the University of Arkansas. And I don't know if Coach told us that either. So cool backstory for an aspect. For those that don't know, Monte, who's going to be our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question coming up. So if you want to go and call or text us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline before I get into the question. Spent time in the minors, started his career in professional baseball, and now is trying his best for college football. So hopefully he has an opportunity this fall to have an impact for Arkansas football this season. All right, let's get to our CJ's Trivia Tuesday.
Anybody interested in grabbing a couple of burgers?
Those are good burgers, brother.
Archer Burger. My God.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
I got the shakes that'll make you quit. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... Just the burgers.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
All right, so Monte Harrison is turning a certain age this Sunday. What is that age? 8-7. You got to call. If you want a $25 gift card, you have to call. I know we always get text, which typically during the show is fine. But if you want to earn a $25 gift card to Keith Wilson's Best Burgers, Best Fries, Best Shakes, 2 locations, Russellville and Fayetteville, at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, you have to call, tell me, Colton, and the rest of our audience. See, Nate's already texted the right answer. Travis, you're off by 1 year to Monte Harrison's age. 877-377-6963. Another hint, if you need a hint, it's the same age I am right now.
Wow.
Which we've talked about, which is just wild to think about.
2 different career paths.
Yeah, two different
life paths.
career paths. One is having success, playing for Arkansas football. The other is a clown that you have to put up with every day from 9 to 11. And sometimes after that, when he appears on other shows, begrudgingly to the rest of the Arkansas audience. So, again, how old is Monte Harrison turning on Sunday? Same age as me. Colton, who we got?
We got Joel from Prairie Grove up first.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Prairie Grove. Joel, how old is
He's turning 30.
That is correct.
Attaboy, Joel.
Weston Harrison, named Benville. Joel, who just got it? You're right. 30 years old. That's crazy to think about, isn't it, Joel?
Wild.
Isn't it wild? Well, hopefully he has an impact. Hey, stay on the line. We'll get your information off the air. I know you're in Prairie Grove, but want to make sure we email you that CJ's Butcher Boy gift card, okay?
Thanks, Todd.
You got it, buddy. We do this every Tuesday. CJ's Best Burgers, Best Fries. I would tell you that if they're not a part of the show. I would tell you that if they were a part of the show. I've known Keith for a while now. Used to go to the Russellville location. Then he opened up the one in Fayetteville. So I go to both now. When I'm going to Little Rock, I go to the Russellville one. When I'm going to Northwest Arkansas or in Northwest Arkansas, I go to that one. Keith's got a lot of baseball players, a lot of guys, student athletes that come see him during college, after college, because they know the greatness of CJ. So if you haven't had it, 1, get the fry sauce. 2, get a shake as well.
Yeah, wash it down with the shake.
Yeah, wash it down with the shake. Again, 2 awesome locations in Fayetteville and in Russellville, and now their fries are fried in beef towel. So they're even better than they already were. Get the fry sauce as well. That's CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Halftime, Bill Elson, Matt Jones, Big C, coming up next.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the